Tonight, I want to speak to you about a simple truth that governs the unfolding of our desires in this dimension of space and time. A truth that is so often ignored, dismissed, or forgotten in the noisy world we inhabit today. In 2025, the world is louder than ever. Every second, voices compete for your attention, your energy, your focus. But I say unto you, turn inward. Focus on yourself and stay silent. This is not the silence of suppression or cowardice. No, it is a sacred silence of power. The silence of one who knows the truth and has no need to shout it. The silence of the sculptor who has already seen the masterpiece inside the marble and works quietly until it is revealed. This silence, this stillness, is the dwelling place of creation itself. For what is this world but your own reflection? What is this life but the outpicturing of your inner conversation? Everything that you are experiencing today, be it joy, be it pain, be it wealth or lack, is nothing more than the harvest of what you have planted within. And so I tell you now, focus on the garden within your soul, for therein lies your future. Guard it, nurture it, cultivate it in silence. Too many look outward for validation, for approval, for recognition. They announce their dreams to the world, seeking applause before the seed has even broken through the soil. But the law does not require noise. It does not require confirmation. It requires belief, imagination, faith, and assumption. These are the tools of the silent creator, the one who understands that the world bends not to the loud, but to the aligned. You have been given the greatest gift imaginable, the ability to create reality through the inner movement of your being. When you focus on yourself, truly focus, without distraction or doubt, you harness this power. You begin to align with the reality you wish to experience. And when you stay silent, you guard this power against the chaos of the outer world. I have said it before, and I will say it again. You become what you contemplate. If you constantly look at others, you are feeding your consciousness with their image, their story, their vibration. And so, unknowingly, you begin to manifest a life that is not your own. You dilute your own power by scattering your focus. But when you withdraw from the external noise, when you step back from comparison, when you retreat into the sanctuary of your imagination, you become the master of your fate. You remember that you are not here to copy, but to create. Not to follow, but to manifest. And in that remembrance, you become powerful beyond measure. The silence I speak of is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is the stillness of knowing. It is the calm assurance of one who has seen the end in imagination and walks faithfully toward it. In 2025, where distractions are many and attention is currency, this kind of silence is revolutionary. People will try to pull you away from yourself. They will try to entangle you in gossip, in fear, in competition. But you must remain loyal to your vision. You must protect it as a mother protects her child. For every moment you give to the outer world is a moment taken from the construction of your inner one. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot focus on others and yourself at the same time. And so you must choose. Will you be a spectator or a creator? Will you react or will you imagine? Will you seek noise or will you seek truth? The secret lies not in effort but in alignment. And alignment is born in silence. There is a great lie being told that you must chase, hustle, compete, announce. But the truth is this: you must assume. You must live from the end. You must walk in faith, unseen, unheard by the world, until the world is compelled to hear you through your manifestation. If you were already who you wanted to be, would you explain yourself? Would you plead for recognition? No. You would live it, quietly, confidently, naturally. So why not begin now? Why not take on the feeling of your wish fulfilled and wear it in silence? The greatest changes I have ever made in my life began not with words, but with imaginative acts, with assumptions quietly entertained, with states of consciousness deliberately occupied. And though the world outside remained unchanged for a time, I knew deep within that the seed had been planted. Then, as surely as night follows day, the outer world reshaped itself to match the inner conviction, not by force, not by noise, but by law. So I ask you, what do you desire in 2025? Is it wealth? Is it love? Is it freedom? Whatever it may be, stop telling others. Stop explaining your plans. Stop seeking agreement. Go within. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then stay silent. Let it grow in the darkness, as all true creations do. Speak not of your plans, but live from their end. Walk as one who already has. Think as one who already is. Feel as one who already knows. And then allow the law to bring it into form. The outer world is but a mirror, and it reflects not your words, but your state. And your state is governed by your focus. Focus on yourself, on your imagination, on your inner conversations, on the tone of your self-talk. Speak to yourself as you would if you were already living your dream. Feel the emotions that such a life would bring, not in the future, but now. For there is no other time but now. Your job is not to make things happen. Your job is to assume the state. The rest is done by the law. In the silence of your inner world, you will begin to feel a shift, a quiet knowing, a peace. That peace is the sign. It means you have assumed. It means you have entered the state. Now guard it. Protect it. Do not speak of it. Let no one pull you from it. Let no circumstance shake you. Let no outer fact make you doubt. All things come to him who waits in faith, and faith requires silence. For silence is the womb of creation. I know in this age of constant expression, it seems counterintuitive to stay silent. But I promise you, your silence will speak louder than any words. Your results will make the noise. Your manifestation will become your voice. And in time those who doubt it will marvel. But by then you will no longer need their approval. You will be living in the fullness of your assumption, and their opinions will be as whispers to the wind. So I urge you tonight to enter the silence, to withdraw from the world, to place your attention on your desire, and to dwell in its reality within. Let that inner world be more real to you than anything the senses report. And when doubts arise, as they surely will, return to your assumption, return to the feeling, and speak not of your struggle, but of your victory. Even if only in imagination, speak of your success. Even if the world says otherwise, live as though it were already so. That is the secret. That is the path. You need no audience. You need no validation. You need only focus and faith. And both of these grow in silence. In 2025, while the world screams, you will be still. While others chase, you will attract. While they exhaust themselves trying to change the outer world, you will simply shift within, and the world will follow. For the world cannot resist the one who knows who he is. So tonight I invite you to close your eyes and remember your power. Remember that you are the operant power. That nothing comes to you but what you consent to in consciousness. That all things are reflections of your inner state. And that silence is your greatest ally. Imagine now the life you wish to live. Do not think of it. Think from it. Feel its reality. Dwell in its tone. And then carry that feeling with you as you go about your day. Say nothing. Announce nothing. Simply be. For in being you create. Focus on yourself, beloved. Stay silent and watch the miraculous unfold. You remain in that state, calm, sure, silent. The world begins to move, not chaotically, not in confusion, but in perfect harmony with the assumptions you've planted in the deep soil of consciousness. Circumstances shift. People appear. Opportunities unfold. Not because you chased them, not because you begged for them, but because you became the embodiment of your desire, in silence. This is the divine paradox, that the more you speak of a thing, the further you push it from your experience. But the more you embody it in stillness, the more quickly it takes shape. In silence you are not asking, you are declaring, not with words, but with identity. You say to yourself, I am, and that becomes your truth. This is the wisdom of the ancients, of the mystics, of the prophets. It is the method of the mystic and the power of the imaginer, that the secret to transformation is not in what you do, but in what you become within. And becoming requires stillness, focus, detachment from the noise. In this stillness, your inner world becomes illuminated. You begin to see clearly. You notice where you have been entertaining false beliefs, where you have been reacting instead of assuming, where you have been looking outward for what can only be found within. And in this awareness, you regain your authority. For the only authority in your world is you, not the media, not your peers, not your family or your friends. You are the author and the authority. And when you step into that truth, the world bends, not out of force but in reverence to your inner conviction. In 2025, Everything in society is designed to pull you away from this truth. Notifications, trends, opinions, algorithms. These are tools of distraction. They seduce your focus and sell it back to you diluted. But I say withdraw. Turn off the noise. Turn off the opinions. Return to your inner sanctuary. And there begin the quiet work of assumption. What you do in the inner world, unseen, unheard, unannounced, is infinitely more powerful than anything you can do on the stage of the outer world. For the outer world is merely the echo, not the source. You are the source. You are the cause. When you finally grasp this, you begin to live differently. You no longer chase. You no longer compete. You no longer explain. You focus, you assume, and you remain silent. Until one day, what you had only dared to imagine becomes your living reality. Others may call it coincidence. They may call it luck. But you will know. You will know that it was born of silence, of stillness, of inner certainty. You will know that while others shouted and scrambled, you imagined and aligned. This is why I tell you, focus on yourself, and stay silent. Let the silence become your ally, your fortress, your creative womb. Speak less, imagine more, react less, assume more, fear less, trust more. Your greatest power lies not in convincing others of your dream, but in convincing yourself. And when that inner conviction becomes unshakable, the world must conform. It has no choice, for the world is but your mirrored self. You need not demand attention. You need not declare your plans. You need only to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and dwell there. The world will follow in time. So continue. Focus inward. In every moment that tempts you to explain, defend, compare, or react, return to yourself. Return to that sacred center within you, the place where your dream already exists in full bloom. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them guess. Let your silence become the most powerful message you ever deliver. Because the one who moves in silence, moves with God. The one who moves with God needs no audience, no approval, no applause. For when you dwell in the awareness of being, when you walk as the fulfilled desire, the world rearranges itself with quiet precision to mirror your conviction. It may not happen overnight, and yet, silently, invisibly, it begins. The seed cracks beneath the soil, long before the blossom meets the sun. This is the hidden dimension of manifestation, the unseen gestation, and only the silent observer, the focused imaginer, can wait without worry, knowing the law cannot fail. It never has. It never will. Your responsibility is not to force outcomes, but to assume states. Your only task is to remain loyal to the unseen reality, no matter what the senses report. Because senses lie. They report what was, not what is becoming. And so if you measure your dream against today's conditions, you interfere with the process. But if you hold fast in silence, if you carry the feeling like a precious flame through storms of doubt and winds of delay, you will find that reality has no choice but to reflect your unwavering inner stance. This is the mastery the world does not teach. It teaches you to be loud, to be seen, to prove your worth. But true creators never prove. They embody. They do not seek attention. They carry presence. And that presence, that unwavering identity in silence, becomes irresistible. In your silence, you become magnetic. You stop reaching, and things begin to reach for you. People feel it. Opportunities sense it. Reality shifts to meet the version of you that no longer needs to explain itself. And that is when the miracle happens. But this miracle is no accident. It is law. Law responding to identity. Law responding to assumption. Law responding to silent certainty. So the next time you're tempted to speak of your goals, to justify your vision, to ask for advice, stop and return within. Ask yourself instead, am I being the one who already has it? Am I truly focused on myself, or am I diluting my power by sharing it too soon? Because the more you give your vision away in words, the more you scatter the energy needed to bring it to life. Keep it sacred. Keep it still. Let your dream be like a treasure buried in your heart, untouched by doubt, unseen by critics, unknown to all but you and God. This is not secrecy born of fear. This is silence, born of power, of knowing, of faith that does not waver. In time, the fruits of your silent focus will speak for you. Your life will become the proof. And those who once questioned your stillness will see what was never visible, but always inevitable. For all things, seen and unseen, are born from this inner silence. And to dwell in it is to dwell in the divine. You will begin to notice a quiet shift in your being. The world that once demanded your reaction will lose its grip on your attention. No longer will you feel compelled to respond, to defend, to explain. You will feel the serenity that comes from knowing your reality is already forming, not by the movement of your hands, but by the movement of your awareness. In this silence, your energy becomes potent. It no longer leaks into unnecessary conversations, arguments, or comparisons. Instead, it pools, it gathers, it concentrates like still water, deep and powerful. This concentrated energy becomes the fuel of manifestation. It feeds your assumption, it nourishes your vision, and because it is undisturbed by outer noise, it accelerates the birth of your desire. You will find that even your presence begins to change. Without saying a word, you will begin to shift the energy of rooms you enter. People may not know why they feel drawn to you, why they feel calm or curious in your presence, but you will know. It is the power of the silence you've cultivated. It is the authority of someone who has chosen inner dominion over outer validation. As this presence grows, so too does your ability to influence the world, not by force, but by vibration, not by command, but by alignment. For the world always responds to frequency, not to volume. That is why the loudest voices often fail to manifest true change. They speak of things they do not believe. They speak of desires they do not embody. But the silent creator carries within him a resonance that reshapes the field. He is no longer trying to manifest. He simply is. This is the key, dear listener. To stop trying and start being. To stop speaking and start embodying. To cease explaining and begin living as though it were already true. And the world cannot help but conform. Focus on yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a sacred way. Make yourself the center of your world again, not through ego, but through awareness. Everything begins with you. Your state is first cause. Your self-concept determines what you experience. And so refine it, hone it, craft it in silence. If you desire love, become loving within. If you desire wealth, walk in the feeling of abundance now. If you seek freedom, carry the consciousness of one who is already free. Do this quietly. Let no one steal the seed from your soil. Let no opinion uproot the belief you've planted. You owe no one an explanation. Your inner world is yours and yours alone. Guard it, live in it, speak to it, cultivate it in private, and in time it will spill into the world in ways that even your mind could not have imagined. The moment you stop broadcasting your intentions, you begin embodying them. And this embodiment, this subtle, powerful inner shift, does not go unnoticed by the universe. It listens not to your words, but to your vibration, not to what you post, say, or declare, but to what you are in the silence of your own mind. When your focus is truly on yourself, you no longer need to ask, when will it come? You no longer ask, do they see me? Do they believe in me? Because none of that matters in the world of assumption. What matters is that you believe. What matters is that you have already entered the state of the wish fulfilled. And once you are in that state, truly in it, the outer must bow. This is not a maybe. This is law. And yet you must be still enough to perceive its unfolding. You must be silent enough to hear the subtle shifts, the nudges, the inspired actions, the rearrangements of people, places and events that are conspiring in your favor, not because you shouted, but because you assumed. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the more you distance yourself from the reality of it being already done. You place it in the future, when the law only works in the now. So rather than saying, I will be, let your being declare, I am. Let this be the year you retreat inward, not to escape the world but to remake it, not to hide from others, but to meet yourself at a depth you've never dared to reach. There in the still waters of your imagination, is the life you have dreamed of, waiting, vibrant, complete. The silence is not empty. It is creation's cradle. It is where the real work is done. And if you can learn to trust it, to rest in it, to focus within it, then nothing shall be denied you. Keep your plans to yourself. Keep your energy focused. Keep your imagination holy. Not because you fear sabotage, but because your vision is sacred. It is too powerful, too formative, to be diluted by premature discussion. And when the time is right, when the fruit is ripe, when the state is fully embodied, the world will see what you never had to say. They will witness what you built in silence, and they will call it genius, or luck, or miracle. But you will know that the most powerful work you ever did was unseen. The deepest changes you ever made happened in a whisper, and that by focusing on yourself and remaining silent, you allowed the unseen to become seen. You allowed the dream to crystallize into form. So I leave you with this.
Focus on yourself, and stay silent. Not in fear, not in secrecy, but in strength, in knowing, in divine confidence. The world does not need to hear your plans. It needs to feel your transformation. And that transformation begins within, away from noise, away from opinions, away from the need to prove anything to anyone. You are the operant power. Everything begins and ends with your assumption, your awareness, your focus. And when you guard that awareness in sacred silence, the universe has no choice but to reflect your inner certainty. Let the world chatter. Let others announce. Let them seek validation. But you go within. You imagine. You assume. You become. Quietly. Deliberately. Powerfully. And when the time comes, the world will witness what you built in silence. And it will not be your words that echo. It will be your results. Stay still. Stay faithful. Stay focused. And know that in your silence, you are speaking to God. And God is always listening.